Before we get started with today's episode, the discussion today is about abortion and is highly sensitive to many for a variety of reasons. So please take care and have regard for others in the comment section. This is a place to share your voice with respect. There likely will be people watching that have different experiences, different viewpoints, different backgrounds. There are some topics that I am openly and without apology taking a stance on. But today, my stance is to be honest, thoughtful, and respectful. Above all, I want each of you to make up your own minds, even if the answer is you aren't sure. This is Voices with Vicky. I'm just an ordinary lesbian seeking extraordinary conversation. Let's go. So I heard at the Democratic National Convention this year, they have set up mobile clinics for both vasectomies and abortions.
Well, I'm coming to you live from the DNC, and guess who else is here? Planned Parenthood. Of course they are. They're in town for the DNC, and they're giving away more than just t-shirts, more than just stickers. Listen to this. They are handing out free abortions and vasectomies. A Planned Parenthood branch out of St. Louis posting this. Here we come, Chicago. Our mobile health clinic will be in the West Loop August 19th to 20th, providing free vasectomies and medication abortion. Emergency contraception will also be available for free without an appointment. Now, it's not only that, there is, and we'll put this picture up, an 18-foot IUD, 18 foot. I'll be on the lookout for it. I guess it will be kind of hard to miss, but they're calling this Frida Womb. That is the name of this 18-foot IUD here at the DNC. Emily, when you combine this with Kamala Harris being the first vice president to visit an abortion providing facility like Planned Parenthood, at a certain point, this starts to feel like celebrating abortion.
Monty, what's been the response from both sides really to this mobile clinic, Kelsey?
Well, the pro-life group really saying that this is demonic that the mobile clinic would be here. They've also said that the Democratic Party is the party of death. Now, we did reach out to one of these groups, and this is Susan B. Anthony, Pro-Life America, writing us this statement, which reads, the Planned Parenthood DNC abortion bus is confirmation that the party of safe, legal, rare abortion is completely gone. On the flip side, here's what a Democratic strategist told us about the mobile clinic being near the DNC.
What we're trying to provide Americans, men and women, is the ability to make their own choices about their life and their bodies and their medical care, and not have a politician make that in a back room for them.
Do we really care about women's health care? Or is this a flex on ROE V Wade being struck down? Whatever happened to safe, legal, and most of all, rare? This is a phrase that was used for years and was coined by Bill Clinton back in 1992. Aren't we at all concerned about the sensitive nature of this topic and the emotional implications it can have for women, regardless of which side of the debate you're on? It just feels like to me that we have become completely desensitized and totally disconnected from every corner of this reality. And it leads me to ask this. Do we even care about women at all?
I'm pro-choice.
I am pro-life.
Pro-choice.
I'm pro-choice.
I am against all forms of violence, and I consider abortion a violence.
The court just overturned Roe versus Wade a couple hours ago. How are you feeling right now in one word?
Concerned.
Concerned?
Just surreal.
For me, it's just more of the same.
I guess you would say not surprised.
Yeah, not surprised.
I'm feeling hopeful.
I would say frustrated, empathetic, saddened, any of those.
What does that mean personally? I mean, the fact that the Supreme Court's overturned Roe versus Wade.
I'm frustrated for the women that won't be allowed to have the choice, that they are being told what to do by someone that doesn't know them or their circumstances.
You can go to different parts of the country and different people want different things. So I actually think that the best way to be able to minister to women and give them what they need is by having it be at the state level. They have more control and are able to exercise more of their choice.
What about you?
I don't agree that the states are going to do a better job, because obviously many of the states have not. They are completely and outright banning abortion.
For me personally, there's been this huge focus on legality, right? It's never, how are we helping the women on the ground? What is the reason that people are actually getting abortions?
I'm more upset with the Supreme Court because I feel like their decision that they've made is actually not reflective of what Americans largely polled have indicated that they believe.
Do any of you, have girlfriends or friends or anyone that you say, like, here's where we can find common ground? Is it just either or?
So actually, I changed my stance on the position. When I was growing up, so I came from a very low income background. I was only told this narrative that abortion is the way to go. And anyone who's against abortion doesn't like women, they don't support women. And that, quite frankly, isn't true.
You reject the pro-life label.
Because it has come to mean so many things. And I think, again, like the super mainstream movement is super hypocritical. I think there's no other way to say it. My viewpoints don't come from religion, don't come from anything else. It comes from this fact that each human being is distinct and important and should be respected and valued. And so I'm against abortion in the same way I'm against police brutality and torturous acts within prisons and the death penalty.
It seems like one thing you agree with, whether you're on the left or the right or somewhere in between, is that a lot more should be done for women.
Have we become completely desensitized to the seriousness of this topic? Has this become a hollowed out debate that's now just another political tool used to garnish votes in support for one party or the other? I'm not here to judge anyone, regardless of what your personal belief is on this highly controversial and charged topic, but I am here to explore with you some of the arguments on both sides of the aisle and why something so emotional and personal has simultaneously become frigid and almost businesslike in nature. My best guess is that as one side pushes one way, the other pushes back even more. So much so that our college students and youth of today can't even have a healthy discussion about abortion and are unable to even grasp or imagine why some may not be for it.
We have explained the university's expectations for today's events, but your disruptive conduct has continued. The university is hereby officially directing you to please make these fixes immediately. The university is also notifying you that in violation of both university policy and Virginia law. The university now is requesting law enforcement intervene. Please cooperate with law enforcement. If you fail or refuse to do so, you may be arrested.
Conversely, pro-lifers can't even fathom making exceptions, even in extreme cases of abuse or violence.
The Bible said God knew me before I was in the womb. We are absolutely destroying God's creation when we have an abortion. It's sad.
Let's take a brief, high-level look at the history. Before the landmark decision Roe v. Wade in 1973, in which the court ruled that the Constitution of the United States generally protected a right to an abortion, it was prohibited in 33 states, and in 13 others, it was reserved only for special circumstances. So this left women to flee to other countries for the procedure, where it was often reported to be unsafe. And obviously, many women didn't have the means to do this. So for nearly 50 years, abortion was legal in all 50 states and protected under the United States Constitution. Fast forward to June 24th, 2022, the Supreme Court overturned the Roe v. Wade ruling and has since sent us into a spiral of debates and has set in motion new state-to-state laws ranging from the most strict in Missouri, where it is illegal, and the only exception is when the person's life is severely at risk, to the most unrestricted, commonly until fetal viability. What is fetal viability? It's basically the point in pregnancy when a fetus is able to survive outside the womb. They estimate this to be around 24 weeks. And I think this is where there are a lot of sticking points and fists flying across the aisles about what this all actually means. Is it ethical? Is it cruel? Is it a choice? Is it a right?
Jane Roe and Henry Wade put this case in the national spotlight nearly 50 years ago. In fact, Jane Roe's real name was Norma McCorvey. She lived in Dallas County, Texas, and was pregnant and wanted an abortion. Her attorneys, Sarah Weddington and Linda Coffey, challenged the state's abortion laws. And when 3 federal judges ruled banning abortion was unconstitutional, Coffey announced women would now have more options. Here's a portion of that interview in 1970.
She can have an abortion, and assuming that she has it in Texas, she need no longer suffer any kind of guilt feelings.
Henry Wade was a district attorney in Dallas. He was extensively involved in the Kennedy assassination investigation. As Roe v. Wade made its way through the courts, Jane Roe gave birth to her 3rd child and gave the baby up for adoption. It took 3 years for the case to reach the Supreme Court. And the story took an interesting turn years later. Roe eventually changed her stance on abortion and took part in the anti-abortion movement.
I have heard everything from it's just a clump of cells, all the way to life begins at conception, and even in cases of incest or R, it is God's will. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on all of this. Are both sides being insensitive? Is this real progress? Should they have just left Roe v. Wade alone? Was it overturned for political power and gain? Let me know.